What's up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be taking you through the team I've found a lot of success with in the Great League Remix. This team consists of Pidgeot, Shadow Steelix Safe Swap, and Ferrothorn in the back. And I've been running this team for several days now, and it helped me climb all the way to 3,500. It is a classic ABB style team where you typically are going to want to swap out the Steelix to lure out a potential counter user if you don't catch like a good lead. And Pidgeot has an ace up its sleeve, you may say. It's running Aerial Ace as opposed to Feather Dance. The reason for this, as we see this exciting Ferrothorn mirror match here, which takes forever, the reason for this is it's a lot more consistent. Feather Dance is going to be a little bit of a sim hero and like a bait hero where you can totally flip games with that Feather Dance bait to debuff your opponent. However, Aerial Ace, just a lot more consistent damage. You get there a little bit faster than Feather Dance, 40 energy compared to 45. So that's why I opt for Aerial Ace with Pidgeot. Rise, can I run the Shadow Pidgeot? Yeah, of course you can. I think with this team, regular Pidgeot has just been kind of nice because you don't have to use shields quite as often in the lead scenario. And sometimes saving shields for Steelix in the back is kind of a cheesy way to win. So here we go, and I am opting for Flash Cannon, as we're going to see land here potentially on the Shadow Sableye. Flash Cannon, big time damage. Why Flash Cannon over Thunder? I don't know, man. It's like, no matter what you run here. So like, for example, I switched my Steelix to Earthquake for like a few games because I was missing it against Carbink, and then the few games where I wasn't running Earthquake, I missed Crunch against like Cresselia and lost. So Flash Cannon is fun. It has helped me almost one-shot a few Carbink in endgame scenarios, and just that hard-hitting neutral damage. Also a little bit better for the mirror match. Of course, you miss Thunder against something like a Mandibuzz, so that has definitely cost me not running Thunder in certain situations against Mandy. But we're going Flash Cannon, because why not? And now we see this play out. Sableye is going to swap in. Yeah. Definitely use, that'll do the most damage, so definitely use the shield there. And then we're going to Psychic Fangs immediately to debuff. And if we grab the final shield, we can combo with Pidgeot. And I actually go for Aerial Ace. Not sure why, because that was... Oh, wait, no, he still has a shield, doesn't he? Aerial Ace. Yeah, they used the final shield. And we should be able to tank a Rock Slide here. Just because Carbink is so bulky, so despite it being super effective, not going to do enough to Pidgeot. We've got a really high ranked Pidgeot as well. Aerial Ace connects, knocks out the Carbink. If it wasn't debuffed by that Psychic Fangs as well, might have not been enough to KO. So a G to the G there. And we're off to the next one. Let me know how you guys have been enjoying the Great League Remix in the comments section. Searching for our next opponent. Q times might be a little sketchy here. Let's see. All right, here we go. Battle number 2. Pidgeot into Sableye. Very solid lead. Of course, if it was like a Shadow Sableye, we'd have to worry about the Power Gem. They swapped Diggersby, and this is awkward because I don't have a great counter swap here. Diggersby, if it's running Fire Punch, is going to be tough for our Ferrothorn to deal with, because Ferrothorn would get outpaced to those Fire Punches. It's also running Quick Attack, right? So the Quick Attacks are keeping up some solid pacing of damage against our Pidgeot. They were willing to take the first move. I'm going to take another Fire Punch here and keep on building. Going to go for this Brave Bird now. Hoping this connects. That would be best case scenario for me. Brave Bird doesn't connect. Great shield by the opponent. And throws before I get to the next. So opponent's playing this very well, making it uncomfortable for us. Gonna go for the Brave Bird here. Really hoping we can get rid of this Diggersby, and he lets it go through. So that's big. I'm gonna immediately pivot because I don't want to give an unnecessary Shadow Claw down to this Sableye. I'd rather just give up Switch. And they're staying in, which is better for us. Gonna go straight for the Crunch. This is where having Crunch is really nice because it takes so long to get to Earthquake. And I can actually get some reliable neutral damage with that Crunch. I figure sometimes having 2 Pokemon's better than 1, so I shield up the foul play. What's in back? Ninetales. This is a little bit awkward because we no longer have a shield, and they're going to be able to charm us down here. Not going to get off that, so I just need to make sure I get to 2 Power Whips here before going down. The problem is, does the A9 get to 2 Weather Balls, and is the charm damage plus 2 Weather Balls going to be enough to knock us out? It's going to be close. We are going to go for the Power Whip here. Come on, Ferrothorn, you can do it. You can do it, Ferrothorn. And we catch the Weather Ball on the Charge Attack priority on our Pidgeot, and that should just about seal the deal for us. We just are a little bit patient to make sure he doesn't catch it immediately. And then we have a move loaded. Opponent is out of there. Where are you going? So a nice little catch to win that end game. Definitely an awkward matchup. That's one matchup where Steelix really doesn't like is Alola Ninetales, because heavily resisting that dragon damage. It's a steel against a fairy ice. You think it's a great matchup, right? But not so much. Ninetales actually likes that matchup quite a bit. Some people have been opting for Heavy Slam, I've faced, so makes sense in that scenario. Pidgeot versus Shadow Gar. We are going to take an Aerial Ace here first and build up. We want to at least threaten the Brave Bird, right? You don't want to settle for just Aerial Ace, so we're actually going to go for the Brave Bird here. Brave Bird coming through and connects. And I'm just going to quick swap. Opponent reads it, though, swaps into Poliwrath. So this is not great, but we'd rather have our Steelix here, because at least we have some reliable fast move pressure, as well as the Psychic Fangs. So look at, Steelix is keeping pace pretty well in terms of the damage. I decide to let it go. The concern here is I don't think I can Wing Attack down before they get to an Icy. So perhaps I should have thrown my Aerial Ace there. Bit of a mistake, maybe. We know the Gligar is still there, so we don't want to expend our energy on Gligar unnecessarily. That would be bad. And there's a Quag. This is great for us. We save all the energy. We go into Pharaoh. I didn't want to risk him catching my energy onto the Gligar. So now we're just going to switch in here. And they throw the Mud Bomb. Wow. Usually they're not running Mud Bomb these days, but he has Mud Bomb in a scenario where he needs Mud Bomb. And look at those Mud Bombs are actually chunking quite a bit. So we just got to be careful here. Can't allow a Power Whip catch on a Gligar. That could be a lose con for us. Going to be forced to put up our final Protect Shield here. We need to get off this Power Whip against the Quagsire. Come on, Pharaoh. We wait a turn. We get off the Power Whip. And this should just about seal things. Can't speak too soon, but now that we knock it out, we have a move banked on our Pidgeot. So even if they were to get to a move there, of course, we would be chilling with that move we had banked. G to the G, baby. Next battle. Quick Q. Let's go. Next opponent, who we got? Pidgeot versus A9. Don't love A9 leads with this team because the charms are just very oppressive, and it's like, I think he might call this bait too. Dude, this is so painful. Calls the Aerial Ace bait. So I have like, I make a nice catch, but I have been Brave Birding since, because I had like 3 people call the Aerial Ace bait on my stream, and since then off stream I've been just going for Brave Bird, and I have not landed a single one. It's been shielded like 13 times in a row in this situation. I probably haven't even played the matchup that many times, so I'm probably exaggerating, but it's crazy, dude. Like, the only times I've ever baited Aerial Ace, it gets let through. Unbelievable. We come in with Pharaoh. This is awkward, right? I like to take the move, but I'm also a little bit concerned that fast move pressure could become a hindrance here. In comes Gligar. So maybe there's still some play here. We go for the Power Whip. We grab a shield, swap in Pidgey, and they swap in A9, which I kind of like, to be honest, because now I can get rid of it. And I'm thinking, do I just save my shields for Pharaoh? That might be the play. I go for the Aerial Ace here. Opponent smartly takes it. The problem is I have no energy on my Ferrothorn, so this is actually really awkward, because it's like, do I let it go or not? I decide to shield to get his final shield. I was hoping that was Charge Attack priority. It kind of looked like it, but as you're going to see, it was not. So that's tough for us, and I think Gligar, since we're completely dry, is simply just going to get to 2 moves before we get to 2 Power Whips. They go for the Aerial Ace. I feel like that's my win condition, right? hoping I can live the subsequent wing attacks. Because if I shield the Aerial Ace, then he just goes for a dig, which certainly knocks me out. So just trying to play to the win condition there. Who knows, maybe if I had let the Pidgeot go, we would have had a chance. Because we still would have had 2 shields, so then maybe I could get to 2 before he gets to 3, but I'm not sure. It seemed like Ligar had a lot of energy there. We're playing Mr. Totodile. All right, another Ferrothorn. Looks like they're staying in, at least for the time being. Of course, you do have to respect the Thunder. It wouldn't quite one-shot. I go for a catch here. Kind of risky, because as you see, we catch a Power Whip, so doesn't work out that well. But in one sense, we kind of had to swap, right? We had to lure out this Annihilate for our backline. So that's something. Annihilate's going to get a big farm down. And now it's like, do I expend my Aerial Ace to not take multiple moves, or do I just go for the wing attack down? I think I am just going to commit to the wing attack down, but he has Ice Punch, brutal. Okay, I still get the wing attack down. Pharaoh's at 2 Bullet Seeds. They come back in with Pharaoh, interesting. Going for the Brave Bird here. Brave Bird connects. And then I swap into my Pharaoh. This is just a Power Whip. So I don't know if this was like a catch or if he just... Oh, I'm tripping. Thunder. Okay, this is where we kind of miss not having Thunder. But hopefully Pharaoh can still pull this out. This is still like a slightly favorable matchup for Ferrothorn without Thunder. With Thunder, it would be amazing. Because then you just one-shot it, basically. And now, as we're starting to get low, I'm just thinking about where do I want to expend my shields. We still have some energy banked on the Pidgeot. We know that opposing Ferrothorn is dry and it's very low. So at this point in the game, I think there are multiple avenues to maybe close this out. I decided to shield just to get off my Power Whip here. And I think that was actually Charge Attack priority, so that's huge. That means this energy is going to go to waste, essentially, for the Mantin. Perfect. It's well within Brave Bird range. And I don't even really need to... Actually, I do kind of need to worry about the catch. Because if I debuff myself, that could be bad. So I'm just over-farming. And I go for the Aerial Ace bait. Because this way I can... I figured Aerial Ace would be nearly enough to take out Mantin anyway. So even if they caught, which they did, at the most obscure timing in the world, we're still able to win. G to the G. If we had gone for Brave Bird, it might have been close there. Might have been close. A 4-1 set. Regular Gligar as our reward. And we will move on up. Okay. Pidgeot versus Mantin here in set number 2. Don't love this lead. Because Mantin's so bulky, of course. I do catch an Aerial Ace, which is nice. And if you're running this team, you do want to... go for that catch occasionally. Try to make that energy for the opponent go to waste if you can. You also need to lure out the potential fighter in the back. So no fighter this time, which is a good sign potentially for our Ferrothorn in the back. If they come in with a Ferrothorn here. We land the crunch. Ferrothorn going to get to another move. Not going to bother shielding. I think I'd rather build up some extra energy with Pidgeot. The unfortunate thing is it's not quite an Aerial Ace range. Actually, maybe it is. I throw at 6, so I throw on alignment on the Charge Attack priority. Aerial Ace is enough to knock out. That's perfect. They come in with Steelix, so I figure I'll just throw my Brave Bird and dip. This might help put it into Power Whip range. It's not quite Power Whip range, but after the Bullet Seeds, it might eventually get to Power Whip range. And I'm going to let this go. I feel like I get Psychic Fanged so much by the Steelix. I don't know if that was proper timing, to be honest. Maybe the opponent got a one-turn swap there. But we grab a shield with the Power Whip. Move coming through from Mr. Mantin. We got to start shielding something at this point, right? So our switch timers are also desynced. So we're also aware we can try and get out of this matchup. Maybe save a Power Whip for that Steelix. Another Aerial Ace coming through. Do I shield? I don't, because I recognize I live the Aerial Ace. So basically, I'm able to not use that shield and save a Power Whip on my Ferrothorn. The Steelix is approaching Power Whip range, which is huge for us. Aerial Ace knocks out Mantin. They're forced to let it go. And I am just going to go for this Brave Bird because either I get the final shield or this should nearly knock out the Steelix. Brave Bird knocks out the Shadow Steelix. And we get the win. A lose con there could have been Aerial Ace baiting, right? We guaranteed either getting that final shield and then landing the Power Whip or just Brave Bird straight up knocking out as we saw. Brave Bird, crazy damage, bro. Crazy damage. Bird is the word. And we're searching for another opponent here. Oh. A little too jumpy, sorry. Yo. Sorry, it's really sensitive, my cursor. But, yeah, man, this has been the most... I think Frostburn in my Twitch chat was the one who recommended this team to us, and we've been running it ever since for the past several days, and it's been really consistent for me. Schmitty 108 is the next opponent. Pidgeot into Victory Bell, amazing lead. Hopefully we can keep favorable alignment. They're staying in, which is really surprising. I thought they would swap out immediately, but apparently not. Aerial Ace, they just sacrificed their Victory Bell. I pivot immediately into Carbink, and the game's just over. ABA Razor Leaf, dude. ABA Razor Leaf. Unbelievable. At least they're mixing it up. At least they're mixing it up from ABB. Carbink lead, 2 Razor Leafers in the back. At least they're going the ABA route, which, I don't know, is that even more toxic potentially? I'm not sure. But we're just going to... The game's already over, right? We just have to get rid of this Tropius. We still have our Pidgeot to do so if necessary. Steelix gets rid of it by himself. And then Ferrothorn just has such a dominant matchup against Carbink. That's one nice thing about running Ferrothorn is you can line it up against Carbink. It is just so dominant. I think we had a game where we were down like a shield and down health with our Ferrothorn, but it was still able to beat the Carbink. So that was pretty nice. Pretty nice. Searching for the next opponent. Here we go. Battle starting. LNDS Oreo. Terrific battler from Brazil. Oh my gosh, Salazzle. Kind of scary. Because our backline does not want to see this Salazzle. Our backline... Oh, he lets me a free sneak, which is kind of nice. He also throws immediately, which tells me this is only a Poison Fang. So I don't necessarily need to shield. But the awkward thing is, if we can't get this low enough, it could be a problem for our backline. Aerial Ace gets the shield. Luckily, we do survive to get off this next Aerial Ace. And this will draw both shields. We aggressively swap. This could be a mistake because if he swaps out and this gets on the Ferrothorn later, that could be devastating. But luckily for us, he stays in, so it's really low. So hopefully we can manage it in the end game. Opposing Steelix, this is where having Earthquake would be amazing, but I've found Crunch to be more useful more often than Earthquake. And we get the Charge Attack priority, so everything's going right here. This is perfect for us. Crunch connects, puts it low, puts it close to, like, Bullet Seed downrange. And he goes for the Psychic Fang, so we're going to get it even lower. I'm going to come in right away with Pharaoh because I want to get this Bullet Seed down. I want to have energy for Salazzle. I go for an unnecessary catch. What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm giving him win cons. That's what I'm doing. And I get baited with Psychic Fangs. Oh my gosh, we're trying to find the lose con, dude. This is where I'm having like a mental breakdown live on stream. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm the worst player in the world. Worst player in the world. Aerial Ace connects. We are debuffed and we can't clear the debuff, which is pretty brutal. Got a shield here. Do I just lose? Because Salazzle is still there. I think I just lose. Yeah, it's not enough. I top left. Tough way to lose. If I hadn't gone for the unnecessary catch, we'd probably just win. Because then I could potentially clear my debuff later on and save that shield. So, pretty bad throw there. What's the over-under on people making fun of me for that throw? I'm going to go 2.5. Tough lead here into Shadow Magnezone. We aggressively swap into Steelix. Steelix generally just a little bit safer in this meta. They keep on building energy, and they give me the opportunity to throw the Crunch, so I'm going to throw the Crunch. And look how low that puts the Magnezone to the point where now all we're going to need is like a fast move or two in the end game to get rid of it. but it did bank a lot of energy, so that is a concern. Shiny Shadow Gar is pretty cool. And they love to bait Aerial Ace here. It's just a tough call to make, right? Because the dig just knocks you out from this range. So it's a tough call to make. They love to Aerial Ace bait. That's fine. We go for the Psychic Fangs. I'll probably pull his shield, which I do. And I'm going to be willing to shield this dig up to keep switch. Because now I can align my Ferrothorn with the Magnezone in the back. The problem is Mantin is so bulky. It's going to be a little bit of an issue to get rid of. And also... he's gonna have the opportunity to like combo play me with his Magnezone. Like he can just one-shot my Pidgeot. So I'm debating whether I want to like switch out of here. I don't switch out, and I know he's just gonna combo play me with the Magnezone. So this is really tough. This is really tough because this will just one-shot my Pidgeot. And does Ferrothorn have enough in the tank to win this? We just need to get to double Power Whip, but the Mantin has so much energy. So Mantin's going to need like 4 Aerial Aces, right? Yeah, it's going to need like 4 Aerial Aces. So hopefully we're okay here. And I just go up to double. Wasn't necessarily proper timing, but I just go to double Power Whip because that's the soonest I'd want to throw. Power Whip gets shielded. And even if they were at double Aerial Ace, we should be okay here. Live the first, and we get off our next Power Whip, which should knock out Mr. Mantin. G to the G. So, tough lead there. Pidgeot into Shadow Magnezone, but we're able to dance around thanks to the fact they didn't have like a super hard counter to our Steelix safe swap. So, always nice to overcome such a hard counter loss in the lead. Next opponent here. I recognize that name. I feel like we queue somewhat often. Oh, man. Amazing lead. I feel like this game goes south. I forget what happens. I feel like I lose this one, but maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Amazing lead. He lands the Dragon Pulse. Look at that. Spice pick with the Dragon Pulse. I go for the Brave Bird here. Because I would assume he's just going to try and soft lose this lead, and that's what he does. Oh, gosh, dude. Salazzle. So I'm debuffed from that Brave Bird, right? So I'm just going to throw this Aerial Ace. And then go straight into Steelix. Him letting the Aerial Ace connect is massive. And what looked like a terrible situation somehow ends up in us winning that one for back-to-back 4-1 sets with this Pidgeot and Ferrothorn team. Ralts is the reward. And this has been my #1 team so far in Great League Remix. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have a part 2 with this team in which you'll see us get to... I think close, probably not quite to 3,500, because I think that was mostly off stream, but I do have a part 2 with this team where we have some epic battles as well, and I've gotten some nice content submissions from you guys too, so I appreciate your patience with some of the submissions. I've had a few people messaging me, like, have you seen my submission? Why is it not up yet? And I appreciate the cool submissions from you guys, and I will try to get to as many of them as I can in the coming days, so thank you for the support. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.